Hey, what's up, everyone? Here we are, Vox&Hops episode number 15. Had a great week. We're in the new year. I'm getting the podcasts up and running. This is going to be the second interview of 7, which I conducted on the Hell Over Europe 2 tour. I recently posted my top 10 albums of 2018. This is always a very hard thing to do, to get a list down to 10 albums out of all of the albums that I listened to throughout the year. So I broke it down to the albums that I listened to the most. So I posted them in alphabetical order, and here they are. Number 1, I got Aborted, Terror Vision. Now, why I included Aborted is, I just toured with them in Europe, and I listened to the album a lot before going to Europe, and the songs are catchy, technical, but they all have something special about them. They are interesting, they have good riffs, yet being melodic and dark, and the vocals are on point, as always with Sven. So that's why I included Aborted's Terror Vision. Number 2, if I had put it, in a top 10 by the one that I like the most, this would probably be number 1, Ancestors, Suspended in Reflections. I've spoken about this on other podcasts. I absolutely love this album. It's a post-rock meets Pink Floyd. Nothing original, nothing new, but it's something just absolutely organic and special about this record. If you like post-metal, post-rock, I strongly suggest it. Number 3, super not original because it's on everyone's list, Carpenter Brute, Leather Teeth. I don't know, I got on that train, the whole synth wave metal train. I, really dove into Carpenter Brute this year. There's something fun about it. It's uplifting. It's still somewhat metal in its own way. I just like it, so deal with it. Number 4, also super not original, Ghost, prequel, should be prequel. I just really like Ghost. The vocals are amazing. I'm liking this new poppy version, hence enjoying the synthwave. There's something about Ghost. I've seen them live a long time ago. I feel like it'd be time to see them live again, to see the whole stage production. I'm sure that it's really something special, and it's on my list of things to do. Number 5, the French band Hangman's Chair. The album's called Banlieue Triste. I really, really, really like this band. I got into them last year. Something special about them. They remind me of like a stoner, doomy, or Alice in Chains. The vocals are great. The songs are long and post-metal-ish at moments, yet being super melodic and doomy all together. I really like it. I strongly suggest it for people that have fans of that. Number 6, my friends, my boys, and Rivers of Nile, Where Owls Know My Name. There is something special about this record. I told them all when I saw them when they came through Montreal. They've really turned a page. They are not just a tech death band anymore. They can play with, Between the Buried and Me. They can move on to open for Devin Townsend, and I'm really proud of them. It's an excellent album with lots of interesting textures. The clean vocals are awesome. The sax is interesting. It took me a while to get used to, but I'm a fan of it now. Number 7, one of my favorite bands, but our new record, The Ocean. I love The Ocean. Phanerozoic 1 Paleozoic album. I was looking forward to it. I was not disappointed. Often when I'm looking forward to new albums, I listen to them and then I'm utterly disappointed. This time I wasn't. The Ocean is a fun post-metal band right up my alley. Lots of excellent clean vocals, big hooks, parts that I'm looking forward to coming in once I hear the lead-in riff. It's just a great record. Probably number 2 if I were to put it in order of appreciation versus alphabetical. Number 8 was a surprise album. I didn't know it was going to come out this year. I was taken aback when I did see it come out, and it came out in 2 parts, which I didn't know was going to happen. My favorite of the 2 is part 2, and that is This Will Destroy You, New Others Part 2. I love post-rock, and I love This Will Destroy You. They were one of the first bands that really got me into post-rock. Mogwai and Them, and Sigur Rós. So this new record just hit home with me. There's something special about it. It's a melodic. I like listening to it when I'm out walking and just taking in the fresh air of Canada, which is really cold right now. Number 9 is a new band. I did not know who they were until this year, and I discovered them late in the year. I discovered it through The Ocean's Pelagic Records. If you guys don't know it, check it out and you like post-metal and post-rock. It's a Chinese band called called Wang Wen, and the album's name is Invisible City. I really, really, really like it. It's right up my alley. There's something special about it. I listen to it a lot. It's something that you could put on in the background while you're cooking, cleaning, you're having a dinner party. There's something very, very ethereal about it, and an extremely enjoyable listen. Number 10, not original, but I had to include it. It's something that caught me off guard. I wasn't sure I was going to like it. Zeal and Ardour. I remember listening to the first album, and I was like, there's something here. It's interesting. But on this one, something really caught me, and I listened to it late in the year. Honestly, I listened to it in early December, and I've had it on loop ever since. There's something about it, the vocals, the harmonies, the interesting textures of black metal-esque guitars and the weird screams with all the effects. I like it. I'm on the train, and I'm looking forward to catching them live one day. So that's it. That's my top 10 of 2018. Coming up today on the podcast is my friend, my sound man, my tour mate, Mega. Mega is in charge of a studio. It is called Psychosomatic Studios, and he is from Majorca, and he is the sound man that comes out on tour with us when we're in Europe, and he tours with many other bands. He's toured with Metallica, he's toured with The Agonist, just to name a few. I met him in 2015, and we hit it off, and we've been touring every time we go to Europe now. We just grab Mega, and it is never a disappointing time. He is always funny. He's got lots of funny videos in his phone. For anyone that knows him, they'll know what I'm talking about. And so sit back, enjoy a Vox and Hops episode 15 with Mega.
I warn you, what you are about to hear is very disturbing indeed.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Matt here at the Tannengarten Gasthaus in Munich, Germany, sitting here with my friend Mega, the sound man extraordinaire. I met Mega on tour. We met, I want to say in like 2015.
15, was it?
I think so. Cryptopsy came over here. We were on a tour with Disgorge and Jungle Rot.
You're right. Yeah.
And that was the first time we had the privilege of working with you.
Yeah.
So we're about halfway through this tour, the aborted, benighted Cryptopsy cytotoxin run in Europe, the Hell Over Europe 2 tour, and it's been amazing. Are you having fun?
Actually, I am. So this tour is fun because we have a lot of people. Everyone in the trial party is great, right? No bad moods, no whining kids. Yeah, because that sometimes happens. And I just have to take care of you guys and no one else. So babysitting is strictly limited to 4.
And we've been rather well behaved.
Actually, you are. I think it's because you are getting old.
Well, I've been watching my spirit consumption, and I think it's been serving me well.
Well, it's pretty okay, I would say, according to standards.
Yeah, Tam and Elo have
they've been good.
Have been quiet.
They have been quiet, actually.
Yeah. For everyone at home, I actually haven't mentioned this on the podcast before. When Cryptopsy tours, whenever we get a bit too intoxicated and we start doing wild things, it's not our fault. It becomes our alter ego's fault. Whereas Matt, me, becomes Tam, Ollie becomes Elo, Chris becomes Cirque, and Flo becomes Ulf. Albeit Ulf doesn't show up very often.
No, I just saw him. I think I just seen him once in Italy, in a beach.
Oh, yes.
Where Tam actually lost his glasses.
That's right. Yes. Backstory.
Okay.
We had played in Italy the night before. We woke up and we went to the beach because we were waiting for the van to get fixed.
Yeah, and we couldn't wait in the hotel because apparently during the night something happened and everyone was mad at us there. So they didn't allow us to stay there anymore.
So we went to the beach and we, had nothing to do. So we drank.
Of course. No eat.
No food.
No food. Just drink.
And I had the great idea of going swimming with my glasses on.
Yeah, like fucking maybe 20 minutes after. Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah, but I have to say that I didn't drink not even one drop of beer, huh? Because I needed to stay very focused because our van was broken and it fucked up. And our driver, David, the Czech robot.
Shout out to David, you're the best.
Yeah, so he went away with the van and we didn't know if we could make it for the next day show that we were playing with Napalm Death.
Yeah, in Lindau.
Yeah, so we were waiting there at the beach. In the beach chiringuito, we call that in Spain, where you can just drink and eat snacks. And everyone was having fun, and me, I was with the phone all the time. With stressed to see options with my friends in Italy, if we should get another van to go there, or...
No, we were just drinking.
Yeah.
So helpful.
Yeah, I have proof.
We woke up the next morning, all of us just feeling horrible. There was sand all throughout the van because the van finally got fixed, and we made the show. So here we are. We're in Munich at the Tannengarten Gasthaus, a beer garden, and we're drinking a classic beer. We're drinking an Agustiner.
Yeah. This one is the soft Agustiner. The blonde one, very soft. You will think it's just dirty water because you are used maybe to the dark one or something like that. So it's very sweet, smooth.
It's still a good beer. It's good. Very drinkable. Very drinkable. Cheers.
Cheers. So Bavarians say this is the best beer you can get in the world. And they say that they don't export this beer outside this area in Bavaria. So this is the only place where you can actually drink that.
It's good. It's light. It feels extremely well balanced.
Yeah, usually it's light because, I mean, what's this, like half liter? So usually that's the smallest thing you can drink here. Usually it's 1 liter. So this is why it's soft.
They were like, these foreigners can't handle our our beers. So tell me about how did you start getting into touring? Because I know you as a sound man, but you're more than that. How did all of that start?
Okay, I guess that the touring thing, it all started with a German band, actually, with Metallium. That was a German heavy metal band. And I guess it was in 2003, I think, where they came to Majorca to do a show. And I was working at a venue there in Majorca where I have my studio also there. So they just came there with no sound guy, no nothing. So we just did the show, and I actually recorded that show with my multitrack. And after that, just a week after, I burned like 8 DVDs with the audio files, and I just sent that, and also a stereo mix of the show to this band, just to have it so I can just delete, because I don't keep stuff like that, you know. I'm not a fan of bootleg things and all that, but I do a show, I record it, I give it to the band, and then forget it. So after a week, I got a call from the bass player thanking me for the recordings and everything, and they were very happy to have that. Actually, they were planning to shoot their second DVD, and they asked me if I could join them for maybe 5 shows, something like that, so I could record all 5 shows for the upcoming DVD. That was called Metallian Attack Part 2, exactly. So I said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So I started with these shows in Spain mainland. They were all festivals, actually, in Bull Squares and something like that. And after those 5 shows, they said, okay, we want you to join us for our upcoming dates we have in Europe. So, and that was like Wacken Open Air and many shows we had in Northern Europe and all that.
How old were you when that was happening?
I was 20, maybe 23.
Okay.
My first Wacken Open Air was 22 actually.
Crazy opportunity.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Eh? Yeah, that was actually my first big festival outside Spain. That was Wacken Open Air there, straight.
Because you mentioned you're from Majorca. Majorca is a tiny island.
Yeah, it's very small.
Off the coast of Spain.
Yeah, in between Spain and Italy. So this is where we are.
And it's your island.
It's not my island, but it is where I live, and I wish it was mine.
Now tell me a little bit about Majorca and the lifestyle there.
Okay, our lifestyle basically is based on tourism and tourism business, because we have a lot of that. I mean, there's a lot of people that say that Majorca should become part of Germany instead of Spain, because we have a lot of Germans going there. They actually live there most of the year, not just during the summer. But yeah, I mean, back in the 60s, all this crazy touristic boom hit Majorca, and since then, everything is around tourism business. So it's
like hotels.
A lot of hotels, a lot of
beach,
fishing. Exactly. The weather is great. It's always hot, but not too much. It never gets cold. So sometimes you are a little bit cold in winter, but not extreme things like you guys have in Montreal. Eh?
That's it. It's really cold at home today. I'm happy to be out here in Munich.
Yeah, it only snows maybe in the peak of the mountains once every fucking 4 years, something like that.
You were born in Majorca?
Yeah, I'm born in Majorca. My parents are both also Majorcan people.
And you say Majorcan?
Majorcan.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your early life growing up, how music became a part of your life.
Okay, I remember that when I was a kid, I started playing guitar maybe when I was 7, something like that. Because before, when I was 6 or 7, my grandfather, he taught me how to play banjo, actually, 6-string banjo, and I was playing with that. And I always were stealing my middle brother's guitar. He had a Spanish guitar, and I have that, and I started playing by myself. And I think it was when I was 8 when I got my first Fender white guitar, which I hated because it was white. I wanted it to be black, but my father brought me that one. It was white. And now, oh God, I wish I had that guitar right now. My Fender Strato.
It's a classic.
White. Yeah, it's a classic. And after a few years, it wasn't white anymore. It was like vanilla color.
And like faded.
Yeah, and I remember it had those white dots on the neck, and I couldn't stand that. So I just, with my brothers, we had these red plastic stickers, and we printed some skulls in there, like in Kirk Hammett's guitar, and we just put all those skulls over the guitar dots.
Was there music going on in your house all the time?
Yeah, I mean, my grandfather, he was a painter, he was a photographer, and he was a musician, so he was an artist. And yeah, I've been always surrounded by music at home. I mean, all my family, they are mostly photographers and videographers. But my grandfather, he was the only one that was also a musician. So, yeah, I think that this is why, since when I was young, I just felt it, and I just started studying music by myself. So, and then I went to a school for learning how to solfeo, we call that. It's
like
learning how to read
theory?
music.
Musical theory?
Yeah, musical theory, reading music, playing guitar, playing piano. Yeah, and then I got into the Conservatory of Music and did all my career, classical guitar.
Do you still play classical guitar at home?
I studied classical guitar at home.
But at this point, do you still play it?
No. It's been like 3 years since my last serious studying of classical guitar, because I used to play in an orchestra.
Really?
Yeah, until I would say it's 2 or 3 years back where it dissolved. But yeah, when I finished the Conservatory of Music, I joined that classical music orchestra, and we were 16 guitar players.
Wow.
Only Spanish guitar, only classical guitar. And yeah, our director, he adapted some classical pieces to guitars, and that was our orchestra.
Wow.
Yeah. We did shows in Spain, of course, and we toured in Sweden, actually. Yeah, we did like an interchange, and we went to Sweden and played a few shows there. It was good.
That's super cool.
Yeah, and since then, sometimes I play a bit, but as I work also in the studio, so I have to do a lot of takes there.
Yeah.
For many musicians that they come over, they play, okay, this is wrong, this could be better, blah, 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 blah. And after a while, you repeat. And by the end, it's like, okay, give me that shit. And
then you play it.
And then I just track it.
When did the studio start?
Okay, my studio thing started, I was very young, actually. I was 15, okay? And I was... of course, even before, because when I was a kid, maybe I was like 12 or 13 when I got my first bands. We played death metal, greencore, and death metal, yeah, all that. But all my bandmates were like 18-year-old and 20, so I was the kid. But I had a guitar and I had an amp.
Yeah, and you can play, I'm sure.
And I could play, yeah. So I started growing up with grown-up people, okay? Teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not me. I was pre-teenager. And then I remember we were tracking our demos with an old stereo I had with a built-in microphone. And I just placed that in the room.
An old stereo.
Old stereo, yeah. And I remember that at some point we decided to record a CD, or, well, it was actually 3 tracks. We went to this fancy studio in Majorca, and they charged us a lot of money, like crazy amount of money, to do 3 songs. We did that, and I remember when we listened for the first time to the mix, and it was so horrible. So bad that the guitar player, I remember the other guy, he just took it from his CD player, because he was the only one with a CD player at home. And he took it and he just threw it through the wall. And it was very, very bad. So
after all that
my thinking was that, okay, if these fucking guys have done this shit with all the equipment, me with my stereo cassette, I do it better. So I started buying all those adapters where you could plug like 2 jack into 1.
Yes.
So because that stereo thing had 1 mini jack input for a microphone. So I ended up buying maybe like 7 or 8
and
plug
split,
like 5 or 6 microphones in there. And I was running my vocals, because I used to play guitar and scream and sing at the same time through the same amp, because we didn't have like a stereo equipment or something like that. So I was running through my Yamaha amp, my guitar completely overdriven with the Boss Hyper Metal 3 pedal, and my voice was already inside the amp itself with distortion and everything. It was pretty crazy, huh? And then I was hanging up and laying microphones on the floor, and this is how I started recording my own demos when I was like fucking 14. But then when I became 16, actually, I did my first recording for someone that was not me, and being paid for making that.
At 16?
At 16.
Wow.
Yeah, before I recorded some friends' bands just to have fun with a 4-track Yamaha.
You moved up from the stereo to a 4-track.
Yeah, to a 4-track. But then, when I was 16, my father worked somewhere. We got these jobs for recording old people's choirs. Like, you know, when
like in a church choir.
Yeah, but they are not church choirs. These old people choir. So when we have these third age people, that they just have these associations where they hang out and
yeah.
So some of them have also a choir activities, and they sing. So we decided it was a great idea to just go there and play some microphones and record them. Like, okay, here's your CD for your grandsons, and
just for free, for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
So my father got me my first 8-track digital recorder, a Roland one, which I still have. Okay, and when I got that, just straight away I went to these friends and these guys. There was this guy that he was studying with me at college, where he played guitar and sang, and he asked me to record a demo for him. I said, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So that was my first paid job to do recording. But then I started recording all my friends' bands, everyone there in my town. I had this analog desk from my father. He used at a TV station, an Allen Heat old analog desk. So I plugged all the microphones in there and I recorded in stereo. And yeah, this is how I started.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, a long time ago.
You became that guy, right?
I became that guy.
The Majorcan...
Everyone wanted to be friends of mine because of that.
To get the deal.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you were always the baby of the band.
Yeah.
How did that affect you? Do you remember the first time you started drinking alcohol? Or because you're from the Mediterranean island, do you tend to drink earlier?
No, actually, all my friends used to drink a lot, but not me. For some reason, I was just not into that. I mean, all my friends were having parties and they were hanging out and all that. And I was the weirdo who stayed. Maybe I was out with them, hanging out, playing this mini football game and all that. But while they were drinking and all that, I was saving money to buy shit. Like to buy...
Well, you had the studio, you had the gear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they may drink like 8 beers or 2 whiskeys. I keep that money in 4 months, I can get a microphone.
Smart thinking.
Yeah. Or that amp, that pedal, that guitar, whatever.
Do you remember your first experience with alcohol, though? Beer, and specifically.
With beer? Actually not. But I guess it would be like in a really advanced age. I would say like maybe 17, 18, where I first got... I remember the first time I tried beer, I didn't like it. I think, wow, that's bitter. That's just not me. I prefer sodas. I drink Coke and I drink Sprite and all that. That was my thing, but not beer. But then I found out good beer, so that's different.
What would be that beer that changed
what would be
you?
That beer? I would say one beer called Das Helle from Germany. Das Helle. That one is the one that said, okay, now I understand that cheap beer is what made me don't like that. But right now, when I found like good craft beer or something, it is like red wine, for example. Everyone says, oh, you don't like red wine, you're a weirdo, you're Mediterranean, you should drink red wine. It's like, yeah, but I don't drink cheap red wine. So when I get like good wine, I love it. But cheap one, it just gives me stomach acid.
Is there a craft beer scene in Majorca?
Yeah, actually, it's been growing a lot for the latest 8 years, maybe 8-10 years. But yeah, we have quite a few there.
Who would be the top contender?
For me, the best one that I like the most is one called Soyerica, and it's made in Sawyer. That's a small town near to the coast in I would say northwest or southwest. No, northwest. And for me, that's the best one. But we have other ones like Galilea, Tramontana, and other ones that are quite okay. But for me, the best one is that one. So
now, what type of beers are they making?
They do red beer, also blonde, dark beer, IPAs, also quite okay. It's not like a big deal like you guys have in Montreal, that you have a lot of different stuff there. It's crazy. When I was there, Danny took me to some of the places he uses to go and watch sports and all that, and drink beer, and it was crazy.
Yeah, we have a very strong
it's crazy
craft beer scene up in Montreal. You mentioned Danny. Danny's Danny from the Agonist.
Exactly.
Big shout out to him, a previous alumni of Vox and Hop.
So I will get back to him with the na 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 na.
Danny actually sent me a request, said you better interview Mega for the podcast.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Let's see what I can say and what I cannot.
You know Danny because you also do sound and tour manage the Agonist.
Yeah.
But we have not
2014, I think.
Yeah, we have not had the opportunity of crossing paths yet on tour.
No.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. obviously, the two together don't fit, so it has to be at a festival or something. But
well, let's see.
I'm super into it. Yeah.
That would be nice.
Oh, yeah.
Hanging out with both bands there can be pretty crazy.
What is the difference between, the studio work and the touring? Is there one that you prefer, or more or less?
Actually, no. There's not one that I prefer more to the other one. Maybe studio work is great because I get to stay more at home. Because I have my lovely wife, and when I'm on tour, I have to spend too many time away from her. So, you know it. You also have a family, and you know how these things are. So, this might be the reason why I would prefer doing more studio work.
Throughout the time of touring, were you ever at a point where you were like a road dog, where you took any tour because it was an opportunity, or have you always been selective? Because I feel now you're more selective with your tour choices.
Right now, I'm very selective. Unless there's something like huge coming out, I would just select. First, what I check is who is this band I have a request to tour with. Who are they? Do I know them? Blah, 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 blah. But mostly is that since the past 10 years, I toured that much that right now I only choose to tour with the really ones I like. Like, not money-wise, but friendship-wise.
I feel privileged. Thank you, Mega.
Yeah.
Because the ones you have to babysit the least?
Yeah.
Is that a part of it?
Probably, yeah. I think it's a combination of everything. It's not just babysitting the least or something like that. It's also how you get along with these people, how you connect, right? Also, is how do you enjoy the scene which they are, actually. For example, I tour with pop bands too.
Yeah.
But I have this pop band from Majorca also called Casa Rusa. And I toured a lot with them, and they love me, and I love them. So this is one of those bands I will never say no, for example. Because I really like it. But of course, I'm a metalhead. So metal is always my preference of choice when having to tour with someone. But right now, I had other petitions. For example, when we are doing this Cryptopsy tour, I had to say no to other two tours that were actually with really good bands. I won't mention. But I just say no. Why? I have to give away my chance to tour again with my friends in Cryptopsy, to tour with some others that might pay me more, but I don't know them.
Yeah, we'll laugh way more than them with them, I'm
exactly.
sure. Yeah.
And this is worthless. The memories you get on tour?
Oh, yeah. Mega's a big, adamant filmer. He captures moments. Right now on this tour, there's this thing that's going on, which was brought by Andrew Garrity, which I interviewed previously. And I didn't ask him about it, but I should have. He's been doing lady fights. Let's describe what a lady fight is. Okay,
what is a lady fight? So suddenly two guys get naked, like completely naked. They put their parts, their dicks, just hiding behind his legs, like Silence of the Lambs. Silence of the Lambs style. Yeah. So suddenly you look like a lady. And they fight each other, and the goal is to spread the legs of the other guy and let the weenie out, right? Is that it?
Perfectly described. So this has been happening on this tour.
Yeah.
There's been two challenges. We have a new king.
Now we have a new king, our German Terminator.
Yeah, all hail Grimo.
Yeah, Grimo from Psychosomatic.
Yeah, I think he might stay the king. He's a pretty good big dude.
Yeah, he's a pretty big, huh? So that happened last night, actually, or 2 nights ago?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. So, yeah. He spent some days saying to Garrity, like, okay, you hold the crown because I'm going to take it from you when I want. So suddenly 2 nights ago, it happened.
In the bus. While we're moving.
While we were moving. Everything was so fast, and it happened. That was a colossal fight.
It went on for quite a while.
Yeah, well, I have it all recorded here in my phone.
I know you do. Mega likes to keep memories, and Well, we can call them memories or bribe, blackmail, fuel.
I have a lot of those. Hidden in my hard drive somewhere.
Is that a threat?
No, it's not. But I have
it's good
stuff
for DVD
from Italy
stuff
too. Huh?
Yes, the beach day. Yes.
Yeah. So I had to review that because you thought that some dude stole your glasses. You remember there was this dude selling stuff. So I checked out my recordings and look,
glasses,
here you have your glasses, and you're running away towards the beach. Then you come back. There's no glasses anymore.
I was so pissed. So disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Also, Ilo lost his wallet in the middle of the street, and he walked away. And thank God I stopped just for fucking 5 seconds to take out my GoPro
to film us because we were like The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. That was. You were four of you guys were walking there completely you really look like zombies there. Drunk Topsy on the road. So I just stopped so I could get my GoPro from my backpack. And then when I started filming you guys, I see something falling down there in the street. And you just keep walking. And maybe fucking 15 or 20 meters. And then I go there and I found out that was Ilo's, the wallet with the money and all his...
personal cards, credit cards, everything.
So I kept it. I think I kept that for 2 days, actually.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't realize after 2 days after that he lost his wallet.
Wow.
And I had it.
We'll be good on this tour. We're being good. We're halfway through.
Yeah. It's the second tour with Nightliner where actually we can have some rest and enjoy because the van tours, we have rooms in hostels or hotels or creepy places.
What's the creepiest one?
I think the creepiest one, we didn't get to stay there. I think that was in Denmark. You remember that was that commune?
Oh, yeah. That's a great story that we can talk about too.
Yeah.
Aalborg, Denmark.
Aalborg.
We played in this tiny little bar. They were like, no problem, you can sleep upstairs. You have a room, we go upstairs, and there's just a pile of mattresses.
Yeah.
And a bunk bed in the corner. And, Flo, myself. And we were like, no, we're not staying here.
No.
It was like a squat, sort of, which...
it was weird.
If we're 20 years old, maybe we'd do it at this point. So we start looking for hotels.
Yeah, well, we drove after
No. But we walked around. We found a hotel right around the corner. But there was too many kids there. It was like a kiddie party, a teenage kid party. And we were like, no, we need to sleep because we have a day off. We can actually sleep in tomorrow. And we have a short drive. So we wanted to get a good night's sleep in a hotel. Cause for everyone, if you don't know, when you're in a van tour and you get hotels, you just lie down for 2-3 hours at the most sometimes, and you got to go because you got a big drive. So we're not going to do that. We're looking on the internet. We find this manor.
Oh yeah, we booked that manor.
We booked this manor room because we were going to treat ourselves.
Yeah, that was like a baroque manor.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
we show up there at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we'd
already booked via the internet,
and we already told them that we were getting in late.
Yes.
Approximate 1:30 to a.m.
We show up there, we're all excited.
Yeah,
because it's beautiful. Get to the front door,
and it's shut,
locked. We walk around, locked. Everywhere was locked.
There was no one, and we were there slamming doors,
we were so pissed.
Screaming.
We were so pissed. Finally, we get back in the van. You're searching, trying to find.
There was just nothing.
So we keep driving. Finally, we stop at a gas station, and you and I were just super tired, upset, so disappointed. We climb into bed with our little blankets because there's beds in the van, but it's nice to have a proper bed on our day off that we could actually sleep in. And we close the door and we're lying down, and then all of a sudden people come back and open the door and they go, they have rooms here.
They have rooms. Yeah. That motel was actually nice.
It was actually nice.
That was actually closed. The reception was closed. Everything was shut down. But the guy from the gas station, he said, oh yeah, we have rooms here and we can just rent you some rooms. That was like a jackpot.
It was great. I slept great. Yeah. I felt rejuvenated, and we kept going.
And that was like 3 or 4 a.m. It was very late. Our hopes were just gone.
Our poor driver. Poor David. Yeah.
Well,
He worked
David
so hard.
kept like...
Yeah.
He's a robot, dude.
Yeah.
I think, he has a Psychic or TomTom nav in his brain, and he just keeps driving.
Yeah, he had some crazy drives on that run.
Yeah.
Some crazy drives.
Well, it's always fun, though.
Yeah. The gigs are always worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This tour's been crazy. The amount of sold out shows is...
This one is great.
I would
The
say
package is good.
Mhm.
Everyone is so nice.
Yeah.
And everything runs smooth.
Yeah.
So that's great.
We've been having
time
fun.
to actually enjoy being with everyone else, not caring too much about
The drama.
the drama and production things, TMing things. Okay, I can just give a hand if I'm asked to, but that's it. Pretty easy, huh?
Yeah. Back to your studio. You tend to record bands like all over different genres.
Yeah, mostly rock and metal, but I do other genres too. I do indie music. I do also like, how do you call these artists? They do like this kind of
Singer-songwriters.
singer-songwriters. Yeah, I do all that too.
But you're more close to metal.
Of
and
course,
rock.
this is what I say before. I think you are born a metalhead. Actually, do you remember the first time you started listening to metal music?
Yeah, I was in the car with my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
old were you?
From the beginning, I'm sure. My dad was a huge, like pop metalhead. Metallica, the Black Album.
Here's the thing. I don't remember ever listening to anything else rather than metal music.
And who introduced you to metal?
I guess my brothers, because since I was a kid, I grew up with Iron Maiden, Metallica, all that. Yeah, my brothers just kept me fucking playing all that. Halloween and Meatloaf.
My dad loved Meatloaf. Yeah, Bad Out of Hell. Yeah.
Oh, I have that one in vinyl too.
Yeah.
I know. And yeah, I even remember my brother playing Master of Puppets for me in a cassette. Or also both my brothers came out with the Black Album when it just came out. And
Were they disappointed or did they enjoy it?
no, they enjoyed it a lot.
I still like that album. I know.
So when I was a kid, I had to go to bed early, because I'm a kid. But my older brother, he got to stood up to study at night, But he was recording with a VHS tape. He was recording the MTV Headbangers Ball show and Beavis and Butthead also when I was a kid. So, and that was Friday night. So Saturday morning when I woke up, I had all my Headbangers Ball and Beavis and Butthead there ready to watch.
You're lucky. That's
It's pretty sick, yeah. And I remember when Pantera came out because in Spain everything got very late.
Of course,
it was released in. It's not like now. Now we have internet, but before, forget about that.
You'd have to wait till a European distributor catches on that it's cool and selling, and then
we lived in the fucking island, so we were even later. And I remember when my brother came with, dude, you have to listen to this new band. It's so great, and he brought me the Pantera Far Beyond Driven.
Okay, yeah.
That was a big hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
what's that? That's too noisy.
Why is he screaming?
Why is he screaming? No, that was good. By that time, I was pretty extreme. Huh? I was listening to Cannibal Corpse already. I got a lot into grindcore. You know what my first CD I ever bought was? That was Scum from Napalm Death.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't have a CD player actually at home.
You just had it.
I just had it. But then my brother got a car, and he had a CD player in his car.
So you would go sit in the car.
I had to go sit in the car and play Napalm Death, Scum. 36 songs, I think that one has, something like that. All the way loud. All by myself, alone in the car, hearing noise. That's weird, huh?
Where does the name Mega come from?
Okay. It comes since when I was a kid, I played in a football team, okay? after school, we used to go, and 3 days a week, we used to practice
European football.
European soccer. We call that soccer. Okay. So while practice days, I was wearing this T-shirt from Megadeth T-shirt, and some guys from the team, they didn't know my name. It's like, hey you Megadeth, pass me that ball, blah 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 blah. Megadeth, Mega. Okay. And this is where it all began. I remember when I was a kid, receiving calls at home because no cell phones were actually there. It's just like land phones.
When you remembered everyone's phone number back in the day too.
Yeah, so everyone was just calling at my home. My mom maybe took the call, and everyone was like, hey, is Mega there? And my mother was like, who's Mega? Who the hell is Mega? There's no Mega here. Hanging out. But then that's it. There's a lot of people that doesn't know my real name, actually. They just know me like Mega.
When I search you on Facebook, I always type in Mega, and I'm like, oh, yeah. It's Michael.
Michelangelo.
Like Michelangelo.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Okay.
Actually, yeah. My grandfather came up with that name.
Okay.
Because, I was kind of the unexpected kid.
Oh, yeah.
And all my family names were already taken. Like James, my older brother, and John, my second brother. And they decided they were not going to have any more kids. So they put him 2 names, John and Miquel. So my brother is Juan Miguel, John Michael. And then I came out like penalty. So
much later.
Much later. Well, 5 years.
Okay.
So, and they were, what do we call him? Blah, blah, blah. So my grandfather said, we call him Michelangelo, like the painter. Because my grandfather, he was a painter. Yeah. He's an artist. So I was named like fucking Ninja Turtles because of the artist, Michelangelo.
I love the Ninja Turtles growing up.
Yeah, me too.
I can remember watching that first episode.
Yeah.
Clearly in my mind, I still have this memory. Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I love those cartoons. I used to watch in the morning, Saturday morning. That was a guy with a horse called Brave Star.
Okay.
Brave Star. Then Transformers.
Yes.
Of course. And then we got Ninja Turtles. And in the evening, we had Arale, Dr. Slump Doctor, a Japanese cartoon, very good, and Dragon Ball.
Okay.
From the same guy, from Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was my evening plan. Dragon Ball and Arale and
football in the day.
Yes, that was it.
Let's do a little segment of the Mega Sounds.
Mega Sound.
Yeah. Mega is a fond displayer of various sound effects.
Okay.
Where did this
you mean
originate?
My sound check?
No. You're like and you're like
okay, the sound effects guy.
Yeah. When did this start?
I can't even remember where.
Is this something you always
started.
did, or?
I think so. Yeah. Maybe it's something weird I have in my brain.
Let's give a display to the listeners.
So like what?
You drop something.
Okay. No, that's too easy. So, yeah, actually, I don't know where that started, but I think it's because I started like doing live shows pretty young, at young age. So, while setting up the systems, everyone was cranking up loud music you knew or something like that, EQing that. So, I started doing that too, of course. But I really couldn't make any difference in a sound system just with that. Mm-hmm. Okay, it helps you having a balance and all that. But then when I was running like real sounds through microphones in the room was just having his own personality and his own life. So I started grabbing the microphone and doing my own sounds to tune the room and exorcise that room. I call that.
Exercising it.
Yeah. So I make weird sounds like I hit the microphone like this for subs. So, and I see how the room responds, and I EQ that, and it works. It always works. That's proof fail.
That's just experience, though, through experience and through the years.
Yeah, and for setting up the effects, and here's where it comes, is that I needed to do the reverb for drums, usually snare and toms. So I started doing the snare sound, like the snare sound. Huh? So I grabbed my microphone and started doing like over the FOH, and I start adjusting the effects there, so I get the tail on the reverb, like, and then you start joking with that. It's like, okay, what about a little bit more overtones? It's going to be that. So suddenly, after just a few shows on the road, everyone in the tour party is contagious to that. Everyone has that, and you can see people walking around doing stupid sounds like all the way. All musicians do that.
We still do it. We grabbed it.
We still do it.
We do it when you're not around. Yeah. Oh, I love it. What are some of the biggest challenges being a tour manager, being a sound man? The worst things that you've had to deal with?
Okay, worst things, I would say to stop fights in between bands or some members of the travel party. That's always sad, you know?
It just creates like this negative atmosphere throughout everything.
Yeah, exactly. So there's this confrontation that maybe these guys had even before the tour happened. But then you face that because when you are on tour, everything gets like maximized.
Because you're living so close.
Because you're living so close, there's no space in the bus, there's no intimacy anywhere.
That's right.
And suddenly something that's very small can become a big deal. And they can fight for whatever stupid reason. It actually are usually stupid reasons. And when thing got into like a real fight with hands and all that, that's not fun.
No.
What you're going to do is like, okay, you are a kid, you should not do that.
Yeah.
And to the other guy is like, okay, man, you are too old to be fighting a kid. So what the fuck is going on?
Wake up.
Yeah, wake up. So I think that dealing with these kind of arguments on tour, this is the most difficult, because of course you then get some people that's more complaining about things like, oh, I want my sodas, I don't have my sodas, where's my beer, I want a shower, where's my shower, I want a runner because I want to go buy some shit somewhere. Okay, not everyone can be divas.
No.
The day that guy sells 15,000 tickets by himself,
then he can be a diva.
Then you can do that. I remember one tour we did negotiate with that. I worked on the pre-production of that tour maybe 3 months or 4 months in advance.
Wow.
Like they were asking a ton of shit. Like things like, I want to have a gym every single day of the tour available just for me and
with
these
nobody
other
else.
band members and nobody else. I need that. I need to work out every day because we are workaholics and we need to work out and we need to have a gym. And if it's not in the same facilities, we need a runner to drive us to a gym just for us.
And wait for us and drive us back.
Yes.
Did you succeed?
Wait. And then I'm a germophobic and I need to have these celluloid gloves every single day. And nobody can watch me, nobody can talk to me in the bus. I need to lock and please make the bus company build a door to lock all the back lounge just for me because I don't sleep in a bunk. I sleep in the couch.
Wow.
So that's my private space. And I want a bathroom there too.
But the bus had to install a bathroom for them? The bus installed a bathroom for them. No,
wait. We were having a lot of trouble with that. And then they said, oh, no. We want one full nightliner just for me and my personal guy. And everyone else should be in another bus. We don't share bus.
Were they selling enough to make this?
No. They were asking for tons of shit. And you know what? It's like, I think it was like 1 week before the tour actually happened, they canceled. With some stupid reason like, because you are not fulfilling our requests, so we decided not to make it, blah, 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 blah. And they had to cancel.
Wow.
So thank God. I mean, all the other bands had already the plane tickets.
Yes, the merch, everything.
All the promo was done.
All that work you had done.
Yeah. So thank God the other bands said, no, we're gonna do it. We are here anyway, so we just play more and just enjoy.
I have an idea who this is, and I'll confirm it afterwards. You can't say it, obviously.
Yeah,
but I have an idea.
I have to say names.
I have an idea, and I will confirm it after. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun tour.
When you're at home, I know this because you've told me about it. You also work at doing events at a hotel because Majorca has the tourist.
That was right now 2 years ago. Last year I didn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago I worked in a big hotel facility where they have a 7,500 capacity outdoor
venue.
stage.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
With the best DJs in the world playing there.
Some of the people who've come
3 days a week. David Guetta, Skrillex, Steve Aoki, all those like number one DJs in the world.
Does Steve Aoki party as much as he seems to?
Yeah,
that's
actually
insane.
They do. It's insane. Yeah. Most of these guys, I mean, it's just one guy, one DJ, but they come maybe with 15 or 20 friends.
Fly in a private jet.
Yeah.
Craziest shit you've seen.
Crazy?
That you can say.
Well, I think it's not... I mean, it is known that all these people, they... I mean, in my opinion, is that they can be great producers. They can make great songs. But what's actual live playing? No, come on. This is just a USB and a playlist already pre-made, and it's just playing all the way.
Wait a minute. You're saying this happens for real?
It happens for real. I can tell you that. They have a DJ set that's worth maybe 6,000 euros. They're lying there in the table with the latest Pioneer Nexus 2 mixer and four CDJs that are the CD players.
Yeah.
Where so they don't actually play CDs because everything is linked, and they just play a USB. So they load the tracks via USB to everywhere.
And they pretend.
Well, they pretend. They maybe take out the lows. They bring out the mids.
Okay.
Maybe some, like the most adventure DJ, they can add some effects there. Like, okay, now we're going to do the delay. Shit like that.
And it's fun.
But you know what's the real show? The real show is not sound because, okay, that was my setup. I had a fucking great desk there, whatever you want. Like expensive stuff. But I had like fucking 2 stereo channels linked.
Really?
That was my stereo channel from his desk, and I had another stereo channel with a spare setup just in case something wrong happens.
Okay, so you're not doing...
And then I have 4 wireless microphones in case the one they take, it's not working, so they have 3 more to choose. And then a wired microphone too. So
just in case.
That's just in case. And for that, I have a 30,000 euro console there. Okay? But the thing is that lights, we have a lot of lights. Laser. Also, we have a lot of pyro. Like Flamaniacs and all that. We even have fireworks. Like crazy fireworks. Yeah.
And people pay for these shows, or is it just like a thing that the hotel offers?
There's an entrance or where you go to stay in that hotel. Maybe you pay a little bit more and you get like a free access to the shows, and some of the shows you need to pay something, but it's really cheap for what it is. Maybe they have to pay 30 euros or something like that. Yeah,
it's a huge show.
Yeah, and it's a huge show. And yeah, I mean, technical... the technical aspects of that is pretty amazing because you have the state-of-the-art latest technology there. You have all these crazy lights. You have also video mapping with LED screens all over the stage with a 30 meters screen back there, the booth, everything. So that's perfect.
Do they have bands or is it always just dance?
Sometimes they do bands.
Who's the biggest...
I don't know. It's usually these MTV bands or rappers that go there. Like Tiny Tempa. Yeah. I
no idea.
Because it's from MTV UK probably.
Okay.
And yeah, usually it's like some biggest pop artists that go there. But 90% of the time it's just DJing. And that's fun. You see how is that world. So how someone gets paid like 90,000 euros for a 90-minute set of USB playlist playing.
Wow.
And that's it.
We're in the wrong business.
I totally agree.
Financially.
I totally agree. Yeah.
But we have lots of fun.
Yeah. We have lots of fun. Yeah. I mean, once you have seen what's behind the curtain with all these guys, you say, are they more happy than we are?
They're not lady fighting, that's for sure.
Oh.
If they want to challenge the king, they can.
Yeah, that would be nice.
David Guetta versus Grimo.
Yeah, you know what? For example, David Guetta, this guy, he comes, he just plays back some USB playlist he has. But I have to say, this guy has his own songs. Mm-hmm. He produced his own songs, so there's that. But 75% of the other DJs, they just play other people's stuff. Yeah. So once you have been working there like with fucking 3 or 4 DJs a week, and you start hearing the same song every time with different guys. So what's the point? Right?
The reason you didn't do it last year is because you were touring too much, the studio was rolling, or you just chose not to do it?
Just chose to stay there. I had this friend that he was the in charge of the technical team for that, and he just asked me. It was very well paid. I said, okay, I'm going to spend the last summer there and see what's going on. But for example, last year I had already too many touring options.
Mm-hmm. We had you busy all summer though.
Yeah. So I just preferred go again on tour and with what really makes me happy rather than staying
and
there
money
with the DJs and make money.
Yeah. Suffering on the road with us.
Yes. Well,
it's always funny afterwards. Maybe not the glasses thing. I'm still not too impressed with myself about the glasses. Well, cheers, Mega. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Love the stories. You're very interesting. Very
much
talented.
More stories we haven't told. Eh?
We'll keep it going after I stop.
Yeah, because what happens on the road must stay on the road.
Stay on the road.
Yeah.
Thanks. Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to Meg. I love these stories. Listening back, almost cringing about my stupid glasses story in Italy. But, you know, whatever. You live, you learn, you grow up, hopefully. Always fun. Meg is just so great. Love being with him. He's such a pleasure to be around. The little bar that we were in Munich, the beer garden was just such a nice place. The beer was good. It was fresh. It was just an excellently drinkable Pilsner, the Heller from Agustiner. Everyone's probably drank it, but I just really enjoyed it. It's nothing compared to the craft beer scene that we have here. It's extremely different. The mindset is different. It's just a pure, delicious, drinkable beer. Next up on the podcast, I have the third interview that I did on the Hell Over Europe tour last November. And this time around is with Jason Melodonian from Cytotoxin. We're going to hear about how he grew up in a small town in Germany, how he started playing guitar, how he got into bands, how he discovered technical death metal really late in his life, and how he ended up being in Cytotoxin. So check that all out on Vox&Hops episode number 16. As usual, if you want to become a sponsor for Vox&Hops, if you have any questions, if you have any guests you think that I should interview, if you want to hook me up with some brewers that want to hook up Vox&Hops with some tasty brews, hit me up at matt@voxandhops.com. All the best. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.